Forza Horizon 5 sees the neon pink infused Horizon Festival arriving in the beautiful locale of Mexico, bringing back some of the exotic glamour to the series that the British-bound Forza Horizon 4 couldn't quite create. It certainly feels much closer to the Australian setting of Forza Horizon 3, with lush jungles and spectacular beaches waiting for you to tear through them, but there's some unique elements at work here that cement Mexico as a perfect location for the sprawling footprint of playground games' automotive festivities. Going vroom vroom as you watch us drive around might not suffice as a full review of Forza Horizon 5, but these onomatopoeic utterances kind of sum up some of the feelings that you might get from the fifth entry in what is arguably the best arcade racing series of all time. We will be getting to this particular topic later on in the video, but what you're seeing in the background is primarily the Xbox Series X playing in performance mode. That means that it's running in 4K at 60 FPS and making various visual compromises. To me, that was just the nicest way to play, but we'll be coming back to this topic a little bit later again. Horizon 5 does little to alter the series' standings, in either direction, good or bad, and depending on your outlook, that is either a very good thing or the kind of thing that you'll just shrug your shoulders at because you're too busy driving off into the sunset. If you've played any of the previous Forza Horizon games, then you will be prepared for what is laid out in front of you. The map is a truncated rendition of Mexico, a greatest hits package of this entire country. Towns and villages will whip by in much the same way as they've always done, and there's the same kind of guilt brought about by ripping through another innocent digital person's fencing on your way to an XP board that some rapscallion has planted on their property. You can't possibly miss some of the key locations in Mexico through this game, starting off with the remains of Mesoamerican civilizations found at Teotihuacan and beyond. Forget the guilt of broken fencing, how about the guilt of driving around a World Heritage Site in a gas-guzzling 4x4? Still, this is a video game, and video games are meant to be a bit silly sometimes. Forza Horizon 5 knows this, and while you're motoring around this particular location, it has you hop out to set up a radio transmitter so you can listen to some banging tunes. Just like the Aztecs did, you know? From the first festival site, expeditions then send you out into the Mexican landscape to set up new Horizon outposts. Those outposts focus in on and unlock specific race types, ranging from your typical road racing through to off-road Baja courses, through the desert and along the seafront. What they really do is add extra Horizon hubs to the map, to the point that you feel like it's taking over the entire country. It certainly adds coherence, even if you might be wondering what the digital locals will make of this never-ending party atmosphere that is creeping across their countryside. You're guided through the experience by a lively cast of characters, as always, and the characterization is typical Forza Horizon fare. You're surrounded by these likeable, if loud people who constantly shout at you over the radio while you're trying to concentrate on more important things at hand. They're all unerringly friendly and refer to you as Superstar constantly, so at least if you're looking for an ego boost, Forza Horizon 5 undoubtedly has you covered. The Horizon story serves as the narrative underpinning that brings these characters together, breaking you out of pure racing to go and explore the world, often doing so with a lesson in Mexican history and mythology along the way. If you pay attention and listen, or maybe read the subtitles, you might learn a few things from this game. In addition to Superstar, you'll also be picking from hundreds of real names and nicknames at the start of the game, and the characters will often shout this at you in a quite unerring fashion. I do wish that there were more options for your avatar to corroborate this strong sense of self. It is fantastic to see that there's an improvement in diversity and inclusivity and the option of different prosthetics to represent players with missing limbs, but Playground has bypassed simple fundamentals like having facial hair, makeup and facial customization on the way to get there. Unlike most racing games, they do actually trot out your avatar pretty regularly and they have a voice, so it would be nice to see some further development here. There are plenty of other new elements to be found in Forza Horizon 5, but they amount to a refinement of the racing formula rather than a revolution. The game features the Super 8 Creation mode and Battle Royale Eliminator mode from day one, both of which are added to Forza Horizon 4 after release. And then you've got the Horizon Arcade, which is probably the most obvious and pervasive new addition, adding occasional challenges and minigames to the map that can evoke a little of the task-based multiplayer of Burnout Paradise. Race over to one of these spots as they pop up with a blimp hanging above it in the sky, and you can get involved alongside other players populating your map and work collaboratively or competitively depending on what's being asked of you. Playground games really want you to play together, and Forza Link is their latest solution for getting people to do just that. Whether you're playing with friends or random peeps over the internet, Forza Link is designed to make transitioning from playing alone to playing with others seamless and simple. It works as well. You access it very simplistically from a press of the D-pad, and it should only improve over time with some clever algorithms supposedly learning your preferences and hooking you up with players that are into the same types of events. Either way, you're likely to find plenty of fun if you're willing to let the link lead you there. Forza Horizon 5 is simply stunning on Xbox Series X. If you opt for the quality mode, your refresh rate is capped at 30 FPS in 4K, but the eye candy that you receive in return is utterly glorious. Barring the tiniest little bit of pop-in involving the detail of far-off cars, everything else is pretty much rendered in incredible detail, all the way off to, well, the horizon. Performance mode sticks with 4K and ramps things up to 60 FPS, the trade-off being that you lose some of the detail. The pop-in becomes much more obvious. Some people might have preferred a trade-off with the resolution, but there's no mistaking that 4K and 60 is a real statement from Playground Games for what the Xbox Series X can do. On the older consoles, the Xbox One X does an admirable job of getting you a 4K image, though not quite to the fidelity of the new Series X, but there's the conspicuous loss of a 1080p 60 mode that was featured in Forza Horizon 4. 60 FPS, it seems, is a next-gen exclusive. Of course, that was never going to be possible on the base Xbox One, but that console still puts up a decent fight, and it sticks to a solid 1080p 30, but the visual quality does suffer, and loading in of assets is very noticeable as you play. So playing on the newer consoles at 60 FPS, it really does help the handling feel snappier, and for some that's going to be even more important now that you can opt for a simulation handling model. That's right, the mainline Forza series and its brighter Horizon offspring are now closer than ever, with a sim handling option putting you more in control of the open world racing than ever before. It feels brilliant, allowing for more nuanced control that in most situations feels better suited to the frenetic drifting and racing than the normal arcade mode. Given the precision with which everything else is rendered here, it feels as though this is the handling model that Forza Horizon 5 deserves. For those that just want to hoon around much as they did in Forza Horizon 4, that's still an option of course, but it feels like the sim handling model is really the most integral change to the fundamentals of the racing in this game. Forza Horizon 5 continues the series' stellar success rate, usurping Forza Horizon 4 as the new pinnacle of open world racing, and along the way it acts as a graphical showcase for the new generation of Xbox console. Thanks as ever for checking out our video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you want to have more of a comparison between the different Xbox consoles and generations, we have a video for that up on YouTube as well. Go check that out. But before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, share, click the bell icon, all of the usual YouTube things, and hopefully we will see you again soon. Goodbye!